So this topic is going to be about distribution, or how do you get your product to the customer's hands. When I first started, it was literally out of the back of my Honda, and I would just sell to my friends, and that was kind of my distribution channel. Then as I grew and decided that this was going to work, I needed to sell to stores, which was a brick and mortar, which would be you walk in your favorite surf and skate shop or moto shop, and they have product in there, and that's your brick and mortar. You would sell that as a wholesale item to them, and then they would retail it. Nowadays, with online presence, social medias, and people buying stuff directly off their phone, which was not thought of anywhere near the time I started, it would be a direct-to-consumer business. Now, direct-to-consumer is the way to do business now. Now, that's not saying that you don't need brick and mortar, you don't need distribution or licensing or any of these other things, but I really feel that if you're in the beginning stages and you don't have maybe the margins, and you maybe don't have the marketing to go direct to consumer, it works well. And because of the social media aspect and the reach, you get that customer to go purchase directly through your Instagram or Facebook or such. But that's really something I want you to think about, is how do you see it? Now, if you see your product in a store, which I believe it's still important, no matter if you do sell direct to consumer, I still believe you need to be in a store, and you need to have people to touch your product and feel it, try it on, touch it. They purchase it there, and then eventually they'll go back and they know that I can go online and purchase it, and I know it's the same quality and the same fit and the same size, etc. So really think about your distribution channel, because that, at the end of the day, it's going to determine where your volume comes from. Do you need to go to trade shows for this? Do you need to go, do you need sales reps on the road, distributors in foreign countries? Excuse me. And if you get to the point where you're finding out your distribution works really well in foreign countries, this is a great thing called licensing. So licensing is amazing too, but you have to own the trademark there. So that's another thing, part of the trademark history, is knowing that you are going to do business there and you're going to build a brand there. So I think that looking at all these different avenues is a great way to explore and to sell the product. So like I said, starting and selling out of your car is one thing, but selling to stores, selling to department stores, dealing with distributing through different foreign countries, those all things work. But I think it's really important to kind of figure out where you fit in and what makes sense for your product. Obviously, direct consumer is your best margins. Typically from there, you have the better margins with it. You're also built in your marketing there. You can control all your marketing assets, everything you do. When you're selling to a store, you really have to rely on that store to relay that message. And sometimes it gets lost. It all depends on how your in-store activation is, or what your area looks like. It's important to look through all these different avenues and understand how do you sell your product and where do you sell your product. So the big thing is margins. Obviously, you're selling distributors and selling to brick and mortar, you're looking at margins that are being cut down. So you have to have bigger margins to be able to allow them to be able to make profit as well. So I think it's one of those things where you have to start off just selling direct to consumer. If it's at an event, if it's where you see the consumer, that's a great way to really get an idea if consumers like the product. Then going to online and going direct to consumer is another avenue. But I think you still need to have people touch and feel the product. So brick and mortar is important, and so is activation at local events or something like that. So these are just things to look at as far as distribution. And we can talk more about licensing and trademarks and distributors in another episode, but this is just to get you an idea to think of where do you want to sell your product and how. So another day, we'll talk about some more of it. Thanks.